We are live, so if you want to say hello to everybody, then you can.
No.
What we'll do very quickly is we'll do this.
I follow your lead.
This is the professional bit now, James. Watch this.
I'm working on the new one. Just showed LJ the mock-up of the new one because she did the footage, but we're putting sound to it now. And I've got Mick on the job. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Bring everyone in. Hi, Facebook and the waiting world. How are you?
And there's us having a private conversation amongst ourselves. Well, our very nice guest. We have a guest all the way from across the pond, and the stream is absolutely brilliant. And joining us all the way from Connecticut, which we've just been geographically educated, is north of New York. We have James Hawke, who is has got quite the list of credits to his name, as in photographer, filmmaker, author. There's so much to say.
Yeah.
So much to say.
Yeah.
As we were saying, everything behind the camera, James. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to start off by thanking you guys for having me be part of this. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
As you guys already know, filmmaking and author and all that sort of stuff has so much to do with promotion, getting your name out there.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate this.
Well, you're very welcome.
Hey, no worries. No, that's what the festival's all about. Our festival was put together to help filmmakers basically air their work and stuff, and to get advice and help each other. So that's kind of what we're all about, really.
Yeah, and the whole point of this channel really is to help you network, self-promote. There's just also give advice to people. You've obviously been in the game a lot longer than some of our filmmakers that watch, and one of our big questions that we will be asking you is about advice to yourself, of what you would give advice to your 18-year-old self. And I think this is where there's a big gap in the market as far as filmmakers are concerned. They seem to be very hermit-like, don't you think? Are you hermit-like?
Yeah. Actually, it's so funny that you say that, Marcus. I was going to say this till like the very end, my pitch of what I need to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people that there's it's like a split personality. There's the creative type and there's the business type. And the creative type is the director, the writer, and they sit in their closet and they do their work, and they go to the set and they do their work, but they're in this real small environment. The other one is the business type. That's the guy or the girl who gets on the phone and pitches the director, pitches the projects. And so here I am, I'm the director, and I can do this. I can do this without flawlessly.
Yeah.
I need to find the other half of my personality. That producer.
Either that or become schizophrenic.
That's it, isn't it? It's it is a sort of a dual personality that you have to have, because I think the business side and the creative side are a bit contradictory, aren't they, when it comes to
they are
the business.
I think two different worlds, really.
It's why agents exist, I guess. It's why producers exist.
I'm sure you guys know this already, but Stanley Kubrick was rolling along making film 1, film 2, and I think maybe even film 3. He didn't get off the ground until he met Jim. I can't remember Jim's last name, but Jim was the producer guy. So Stanley was the creative guy, Jim was the producer guy, and the rest is history. I mean, Stanley went to the high elevation after that.
Yeah. He also didn't like traveling.
No, he didn't.
And that's why it's quite funny, because Full Metal Jacket
was filmed in London. Yeah.
It was filmed in the UK.
Yeah, right.
And when they're doing the running along the road singing the songs, if you look at the road markings, it's actually left-hand drive British road markings.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
That's one of the things, but it's because he didn't like to travel.
Right.
So they built the set in the UK in an army barracks, disused army barracks, and amazing. But
so the Vietnam drive on the wrong side of the road as well?
No. Well, he imported all the barracks.
Sorry.
He imported all those trees.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, it took 7 years to make, and Matthew Modine, the lead Joker, apparently in the space of the filming of that film, he had him and his wife, they have 2 kids between them.
Oh my!
Doing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently it took absolutely ages. I will confirm how long it took.
So there was a lot of hanging around on set.
Yeah.
I wish I had that opportunity.
Yeah.
Being an independent short filmmaker, and I want to do a feature film, but not so far. Everything is rush. And then I read stories about Kubrick, and I watch his movies, and I go, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. I mean, it must be a joy for the editors when they got all the time in the world to stick things together, haven't they? Whereas you rush them through these days. In 3 months you make a film, and the next sort of 3 months is spent sort of hurriedly putting it together. But
Right.
If you're doing it over 7 years, you might get the first can done before the second can's even filmed. But
Well, Eyes Wide Shut shot for over a year.
Wow.
What's her name? And I can't remember. Can't remember the actress in the
Kim Basinger, was it?
No. It was the Australian lass. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear, weird crush too.
I'm on it.
Well, anyway.
Nicole Kidman.
Name escapes.
Nicole Kidman, thank you.
Nicole Kidman, and whose husband was who?
Tom Cruise, wasn't it?
Tom Cruise.
He was the lead man. I knew that one.
They said they could not believe it. They one shot. It was when they were in the pool room. That one shot took a week.
Okay.
Stanley kept saying, "Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's try it again."
Apparently, he was a swine for that. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
It took 13 months. Sorry, to film Full Metal Jacket.
13 months.
Still a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do sort of forget that the creative types like Stanley Kubrick, for example. I mean, he's got that vision and he's got that perfectionist streak in him, which I think is, you have to be very stubborn when it comes to, I mean, your job. When it comes to, if you're making your own stuff, you've got that vision from the beginning, haven't you? And you know what you want it to look like at the end. There must be a heck of a lot of, can we just do that again? That wasn't quite what I was envisaging. Do you find you're a bit of a perfectionist that way?
Oh, absolutely, Marcus. You know, and that's a piece of advice that I give the young filmmakers that I talk to. You know, you can rush a film to get it done. Nobody's going to remember that you got that film out on time or early or in a short. Nobody's going to remember that. Or you can take your time and you can make that film right. Now, if you don't get that film right, they're going to remember that.
Yeah.
So, and you were talking earlier about the conflict between the business guy and the creative guy. The creative guy has got to say, hey, wait a minute. If this thing goes down in smoke, that's my name going down in smoke. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's funny. So as a director, then, James, you know, when you're, because you have different types of directors. You have those who go, no, I want it line perfect by the script, yeah. And then you have those who say, well, you play with it a bit. What kind of director are you? What do you prefer to do?
Gareth, that's a good point. You literally won't even know that I'm on the set, literally. And here's my basic mode of operation. I don't want to be, and I'm not, I don't want to be the director that says, I want you to do this, and I want you to do it like this, and I want this and that, because what you end up with is a movie of clones of the director.
Yeah.
I want the characters to have personality, their own traits. I want them to do their own thing. Yeah. So what I do literally is I'll call action and I'll see what they come up with. More often than not, they exceed my expectations. Now, sometimes they're going this direction and I want to go this direction. So that's when I say, whoa, time out. I was thinking more something like this. And the other thing is these dictatorial directors tend to get their actors and the crew out of sorts.
Yeah.
And the last thing in the world you want
Yeah.
is 30, 40, 50 people that are really ticked off at you.
Yeah. Baying
Yeah.
for your blood.
You've got to keep the dressing room, haven't you? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
It's funny. I was watching a short making of documentary yesterday for the film The Gentleman by Guy Ritchie, and the actors were saying it was who was it? The actors in it. God, I'll find out later. But Colin Farrell is one of them. But anyway, they were all saying that they'd come into work one day, and apparently Guy Ritchie, when he watched one of these, he would rewrite the script as they were filming, and he would rewrite it because he'd have an idea and stuff. And basically they'd come in and he'd go, right, we're not playing with the script today. This is what I want to do. So you lot go out and go off and work it out, and then we'll do it. And they're all like, okay, what? So yeah, there's I think there's freedom, and then there's maybe a little bit too much freedom. You know, you got to have a direction, haven't you?
I think.
Well, no, you
Go on.
no, absolutely. People have to understand that, and I've had this problem where I've actually had to say to people, you do understand there is only one director on this movie, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Gareth, you have to have control.
Yes, yeah.
Or you end up with a ship without a rudder. Where does a ship without a rudder go?
Well, it bobs around and goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere.
Well, wherever the wind takes it, really.
I kind of see the director's job more of as a conductor in that case, where you have a set of musicians who are good at what they're doing, and you're just sort of keeping them in rhythm, as it were. So they're producing a work of art, because I suppose that way they're allowed to be creative within their own sort of template, if you like, which is, I think it produces much of the best sort of stuff. A lot of the best lines in all films are improvised, aren't they? They're, you know, you keep that sort of in the back of your mind that actually someone might have something, this might speak to them in a different way that hadn't occurred to me before, and just go with it.
Well, Marcus, the other thing too is I've written everything except one of my project. Every single one of them. And I tell the actors, I said, no, you know, I understand that I write things out of my head, and you might not say it the same way that I would say it. So say it like you want to say it, as long as the message is the same.
Yeah.
And it comes across more natural there, because they're not having to think, they're just conducting a thought. They're not thinking about what the words are.
Yeah. So how many films have you made then, James? What's your directorial debut up to at the moment?
I don't know the answer. Probably 20 shorts, give or take. But a whole bunch of other projects that are never been shown to the public or never completed. I have 145 credits on IMDb.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't have 145 projects. I mean, when you're an independent filmmaker, you're the writer, you're the producer, you're the director, but 145 credits.
Yeah, everything including the T-boy.
Exactly.
And do you film all your films in and around Connecticut, around your where you live, or do you travel much at all for those films? And no,
every one of them was done in Connecticut.
All of them are done there. That's great. And do you have a particular favorite? Because I've done a bit of acting on stage and stuff, and I have a favorite play that I did for its own reasons, like it went wrong slightly and stuff like that. And I do like the pressure. But do you have a particular favorite that you would say, yep, that's my number one?
Well, I hate to say this because it's not my best film. But my favorite one is the Saturn mission.
Okay.
And it was my first green screen project, and it's science fiction, which I like. And when I need to roll this back a bit. My big thing right now is a series called The Epic and Essential Alf Tata Chronicles. And it's got, right now, it has the potential for a lot of pieces, but right now it has like 11 or 12 pieces. animation films, short films, feature films, and the story covers the time span from before the Big Bang to the end of mankind. And I'm working right now, I'm working on one called The Eye of Tethys Enigma. And it's a book. I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm probably going to be able to print that within the next month or so.
Okay.
And the book thing, making movies is expensive. Like I said, I've never made a feature film because I don't have that kind of money.
No.
You know, a low budget feature film is over $5 million. Where am I going to get that? So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do everything that I do now is going to be a book. And hopefully there'll be a producer out there that sees something and goes, wow, holy smokes, look at that.
Yeah.
And get some traction that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea.
So what does bring the coffers in then on the, is it writing your books, or do you do something else in your day as your day job?
My day job is to play.
To play.
Play.
That's the ideal situation.
Are you retired, James?
Yes, I am.
What did you do, out of curiosity, if you're willing to say?
Before
you retired, yeah.
I was in sales and marketing.
All right, cool.
So you do have that business element to you then.
Yeah, you must have that.
Yeah, but nonetheless, my thing now is the creative side. I don't want to do that other side.
Is this the side that you didn't really let out until 17 years you've been making films, you said, isn't it?
17.
17 years. Wowzers.
2005.
Should we play one of your trailers?
Absolutely.
For one of your movies. Now, if people are interested, James has got his stuff on Vimeo, and the channel is called James W. Hawke Filmmaker. I have put the links into the description for this feed. So what I'll do now is, if everybody turns off their cameras, what we'll do is I will share my screen. If you turn off your camera, then it'll go off the feed, James.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, you and I will stay on, because it'll show me rather than yourself. And I will share now. But do you know how to mute yourself?
No, but I'll be quiet.
Okay, you just have to be. You just have to be quiet.
Yeah. He's good at that. 17 years on set, you know how to be quiet.
That's very true. Yes. So what we'll do is we'll have a watch of this, and this is the trailer for the film is Verdict. Okay, so as you can see, James Hawke, filmmaker there. So Verdict, this is a trailer for.
What are attorneys supposed to do when they know their client is guilty?
We, the jury, in the case of Patrick Calvin versus the state of Connecticut, find the defendant not guilty.
What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? I'm helping these people.
We, the jury, in the case of Michael McInnes versus the state of Connecticut, find the defendant not guilty.
I love the legal system. I love it.
It's good, that.
Good stuff. That actually has intrigued me now, because that looks like a little bit of corrupt legality stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Which is,
I started watching this last night, and the one thing that came out of it was how little I understand of the American legal system. I just thought that even though I do watch a lot of sort of crime dramas and that sort of thing, but I know we only see over here, we only see the big cases, and it always seems to me that there's like 15 lawyers or whatever on each side, sort of passing bits of paper to each other. And is it one of those courtroom dramas, or is this a drama that takes place sort of in and around the characters?
In and around the characters. The courtroom plays into it because he's a lawyer, but only to show some of his characteristics. But the story is not a courtroom story.
Good. That's all I'm saying to that. Good. I must admit that's when I started watching it, I was thinking, you know, it was very late last night when I got the link, and it does look intriguing, and I know the sort I can sort of get a feel for the characters. But yeah, so when this is 2019, is that finished? That's all going out to film festivals now, is it?
Not so much anymore. That project is like 2 or 3 years old now, and then COVID came.
Well, this is why I ask. Yeah, is it still out there, or is it something that?
A little bit. Right now, I'm doing basically concentrating in 2 areas: writing books and animation films. Because I don't want to go on set with a bunch of people. I don't want to do that.
No.
COVID has changed a lot of the way we do things, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously entered the RATMA Film Festival. That's how we obviously met.
Right.
That you recently entered the film festival with your film Mother Earth, From Womb to the Tomb, which is an animation that you've done. We've yet to see it because you haven't sent us the film file yet. But
as soon as this is done, I'm going to fix that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. But
it's so funny, Gareth. Like I said, that's an animation film that I've done because I can do that here. I don't have to go on set. I can do the Photoshop. I can do the Premiere Pro. And so I wouldn't consider it one of my best projects.
Right.
And yet it won an award. So
okay.
Yeah, so I'm very happy with that. I'm also a little mystified.
Okay.
It's also been shown at 5 other film festivals worldwide, and it's promised to show at 2 more that haven't been announced yet.
Right.
But yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Well, good luck with RATMA Film Festival.
And that just happens to be another piece of the epic and essential Alf the Talk Chronicles.
Yeah, that looks quite fascinating.
That's where I'm focusing all my effort in that area.
Very clever. Well, our LJ, who's very quiet, you'll have to excuse her, but she is also quite the artist, to be honest with you. She had our logo. I hate it when it's mirrored. Our logo.
Nice done. Nicely done.
Done by LJ. LJ drew our logo, and you can see there we got Flixie as well at the top here, the taxi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the rest of it. And that's all LJ's artwork. And basically, yeah, she's quite the artist, and she's going to help me. She's going to help me design RATMA World, which is a virtual reality world where we're going to be able to have networking for filmmakers, and people will be able to go in and watch films.
Wow.
It's all coming, I tell you. It's all
that sounds
happening.
Ambitious.
Oh, I've already built one virtual world, so this is it's not going to be too much of a stretch. But I need an artist, you see, and this is why I'm roping LJ into it. Whether she bloody kicking and screaming by the looks of it, I tell you. So yeah, so on that film, The Verdict, sorry, it's not The Verdict, Verdict, yeah. It looks like you got quite a bit of good feedback from it as well. I mean, I rolled it up to the credits where it says, Jan Harlan said, very good, point well made. So you obviously got this in front of some serious players in the industry.
Yeah.
How did you get that done?
I don't know how to answer that.
Was it
I've known-
bloody-mindedness and persistence?
I've known Jan for maybe 4 or 5 years,
Okay.
and he's a gentleman. He's very helpful to young, not that I'm young, upstart filmmakers.
Well, you're only
Right.
17 years old as far as filmmaking is concerned. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd take yourself as a teenager right now.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that.
So is that it really? I mean, it's 17 years making films, but did you dabble in it before that? Is it something you've always been interested in your life, or?
Well, the answer there is sort of a qualified yes. Early on, when I was in corporate America, I did a script and a video for energy efficient products. But to further answer your question, it was around 2005 when filmmaking became accessible to most people.
Yeah.
Prior to 2005, the budget for the film itself would break the bank.
Yeah.
Around 2005, the cameras, the software, everything got to the point where you could you could literally make a movie in your office.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the magic around 2005 is simply the technology came together at that point. I was able to do that.
It became very accessible, and I think that, and affordable. I think that's the main key for a lot of young filmmakers. A lot of filmmakers today is that you can do a lot of this on your phone now. The technology is there to sort of to do it wherever. And we were talking to another filmmaker who has been making films for a long time and has gone back to using Cine 8 and things like that to get that authentic kind of feel to the the film. And it was like you say, you do that, and the budget for the film itself is quite prohibitive, isn't it? Because you've got a limited amount of celluloid, and then you have to say cut and mean it.
But I mean, even with the new it's a sore spot with me. I'd love to make a feature film, but you can't make, to me, I can't, because it would never satisfy my needs. I couldn't make a feature film with a cell phone because it's the end product isn't going to be what I want. Even with all the technology in the right place, you're still talking about minimum $5 million.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money.
Yeah, you need a few backers for that, don't you?
Right.
But yeah, it's an interesting point. I do think there is a case to be said that because it's accessible now, you are getting everybody's ideas on film, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
And so, what Gareth and I have a job every year sifting through kind of okay films, pulling out the things that don't work and trying to find those gems. And some years it's easier than others, but sometimes you think, oh, is this really something that someone wants to put their name to? It's there are a lot of things that we do. I mean, I wouldn't name people, but that would be wrong, but we do have a more difficult job some years than others, and to sift through it all. But that's, I think, in the old days when it was all down to budget. Like you say, you had to have the money to produce something. You made sure it was, or someone was there to make sure it was worth spending the money on. Whereas now you kind of don't.
Well, Marcus, I find to your point, the film industry is overrun with directors, filmmakers now, because it's so accessible. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And one of the things you asked me early on is, what advice do you have for filmmakers? And one of the things I tell these young guys is, no, you don't buy a camera, you don't run out and ask your friends to be actors and crew and run out and shoot a film. It doesn't work like that. I said 90. And I said earlier, when I get to the set, you might not even know I'm there. If everything's going right, what, I don't need to be there.
Mhm.
But what I tell them is 90% of your work is done pre-production.
Yeah.
You don't go on the set and wonder what the camera angle is or who's in it or what they're gonna, none of that. So these young kids, they go out, they grab the camera, they go out and they argue with each other all day.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's not gonna make a good film, or maybe no film at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. I've seen it myself.
Mm.
And getting the free actors in and stuff like that, and then they're late turning up on set, or they can't be bothered coming in that day, and it's not like you're paying them or anything like that, and it happens, and people will go on to platforms saying, hey, I need free actors and free this and free that, and it doesn't work. And as you say, most of the work is done in the planning, and if you know where what you want and where you're going, then it's done, isn't it?
We were saying this last week when we were about the actors being particularly, you don't get your friends to stand in front of the camera. You get actors to stand in front of the camera. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And it's little things like that.
Well, I get criticized for this, and I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but I use the same actors over and over and over again. And people go, well, if you're a good director, you have to show that you could work with a wider. And I go, you know what? The actors that I have are good, they're reliable, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Why in the world would I go out and get somebody who I don't know and don't know what I'm going to get and don't know what to expect? Why would I do that?
Just tell them the Royal Shakespeare Company and walk away. How many you go and watch the Royal Shakespeare Company? It doesn't matter what play; it's always going to be the same players because they're part of the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Exactly. Just make sure you got something in your hand so you can just drop it. Mic drop and work.
If you do it well, why change it? I mean, that's the job of the actor, is to convince you they're different people, not yours.
Right. Incidentally, that guy that you saw on the screen there in Verdict, he was in a Steven Spielberg movie.
Oh, well.
I know. Nice going.
Yeah, definitely was. I tell you what, on that note, we'll have another one of your trailers, if you don't mind.
Sure.
This one is the Unforgiven. Now, we're lucky because you sent us the Verdict film. But which basically we couldn't play today because it's too long. We're a 10-minute festival and it's a 17-minute film, so unfortunately we couldn't show that. Hence the reason we're showing the trailers. But this one looks quite intriguing. Where can people find your films? Where can they find to watch them?
Yeah, that's a problem. All my films are on Vimeo, password protected.
Right.
Not all film festivals, but a lot of film festivals say if your stuff is on the internet, don't even send it. We don't want it.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of opening up a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And putting the older stuff on there, and I just haven't found the time to do it.
Okay. It's funny that we as a festival, one of the first things we ever said was, because we entered into it not knowing how to run a festival or anything. Marcus rang me because I run a video company, corporate videos, and he said, I want to put a festival on. What do you think? And I went, that's a great idea. And off we went.
I had no clue about film formats for a start. I didn't have nothing.
Every day has been a school day and still is. Yeah. And people go, oh no, this film, you can't show it, you can't make it public, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's like, because other festivals, and I thought, why are they all so precious? Not the filmmakers, the other festivals.
Right.
We live in this digital world where everybody should be sharing everything, and it's like restricting filmmakers from actually showing their work because they want to hold it back until it's gone through all of the festivals and stuff. And I think it's so restrictive to the industry. But let's have another one of yours. Starts off a little saucy.
We're not going to get banned, are we?
I'll show you what I mean. Starts off a little saucy. So basically, I will mute myself if you two can. Yep, they've done it. And we'll have a little watch of this one.
talk about that right now, honey. You need to eat your breakfast or you're gonna miss your bus.
Okay.
What's it gonna be today? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay.
The 17th century Dutch philosopher Baruch de Spinoza made the following observation: no matter how thin you slice it, there will always be two sides. Nowhere is this more evident than in a marriage. Take Mo and Susan Dexter, married for 10 years, 2 beautiful children, new cars, a nice home in the suburbs, well-paying jobs, and a summer house on the shore. They have it all. But all is not right in the Dexter house. Watch to see how their choices are determining their lives.
Yeah, good one. The reason I asked about where we can see your films is because I would like to watch that one.
Well, listen, I'll send you the link and the password.
Please do, because I would like to watch that one. That one looks very intriguing. Two sides.
I think they did. The actors did an outstanding job. That was my first full cast, full crew short film.
Really?
And they did a magnificent. But I want to say this in my defense: my films aren't washed out like they're showing on the screen. Something
That's
in
what
the
screen you're on.
something in the compression went on here. I didn't.
I think it might have been the connection underneath the Atlantic.
Yeah, I don't know.
In my defense, I look 20 years younger in real life as well, James.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. No.
No, I'd be happy to. I'll send you the link in the past. I'd be happy to have you see that.
Yeah, because I haven't watched Verdict yet, but I was gonna give it a go this weekend, when I had some time to sit down and catch up with myself, really.
So there's quite two contrasting films there we've seen. What is your favorite genre to watch as far as films are concerned? What inspires you when you go and see a film? What genre is it that you prefer?
I like science fiction a lot, and I haven't beaten a horse to death here. I like Stanley Kubrick. I mean, I've seen every single one of his films.
What's not to like? What's not to like? Yeah.
Didn't he do A Clockwork Orange?
Yeah, he did.
That was one of his.
That's one of his, yeah.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
I went to see that with my brother in the cinemas back in the 70s. Wow, a long time ago. And I actually forgot to go to a rock concert for the same day. I was so excited about going to see the film. I forgot I had tickets to a rock concert. And I found out when I got to the cinema and I took my wallet out and I thought, got tickets in here for us. I'm supposed to be in Hammersmith Odeon.
So James, what's next then? More animations, or do you plan to get back to the world of doing dramas and short films?
I actually have like 3 or 4 projects that are waiting for the pandemic to clear. Yeah, actually, I was going to do one right at the beginning, and that got put on hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it won't be long. It'll all blow over soon, I'm sure, and then you'll be able to get back to it.
How are things in Connecticut then?
I would wait for the snow to clear in Connecticut though first.
Yeah.
Because in your email to me, you said, "Oh, great! I could come on the show, and then afterwards I can go out and shovel the snow."
Right.
Okay, you obviously get a lot of snow then.
Did you have it?
No, actually, we haven't had a lot of snow this year, but it did last night.
Yeah, we did. We had a bit last night, but not too much. But yeah, starting to get chilly here in the UK now.
What's it like with the COVID restrictions now in Connecticut? Is it easing off, or are you still quite strict on it?
Since my wife and I are older, we still stayed at the house.
Right.
But I mean, you can if you when you're driving around, you can see that the younger people aren't paying that much attention.
Mm. Yeah, it does seem to be something that affects the older generation, as it were.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, unlike the Spanish flu, which basically attacked 20 to 30-year-olds.
Well, there you go.
There you
Mind
go.
you, that's because they were congregating.
Can I mention the books that I've written?
Yes,
Of course you can.
please.
Of course you can. Please do.
We were just going to come on to that. Yeah.
I'm making my way through your list of stuff that you wanted to talk about.
I wanted to make sure that we didn't get forgot.
Right,
is-
confluence.
Talking about flu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first book that I did where I turned a script into a book with the hopes of getting
Right.
somebody's attention.
Yeah. And what's that one about then?
This is, well, this one's kind of, it's nothing, absolutely nothing to do with science fiction. This is a serial killer meets a woman that is a little off. and if these two ever get together, heaven help us.
Right.
And they do get together.
It's like, what is it? It's the perfect storm then.
Yeah, it
With
really
regards
is.
to personalities and that.
This one's, all my books are available on Amazon.
Okay.
And I'm working at, Confluence has a part 2 and a part 3 that I'm working on. Let's see.
You've done, was it movie poster album?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah. It's funny because in hindsight, we're all Albert Einstein. Yeah. But in hindsight, when I was a young man, I used to collect movie posters from the 80s. Because back in the day of VHS, so LJ, VHS is a tape that you put into a machine, right? And
I was born when they were out before DVD.
yeah, you were crawling when VHS was just going out of date.
It's a bit like Betamax, but not quite as good.
Yeah, but back when I was friends with the local video shop, and they used to get, when they'd finished with the posters, they used to give me the posters. And in hindsight, if I'd have kept them, I probably would have quite the fortune in posters.
Well, Gary, it's funny that you mentioned it. I'm looking at Rocky Balboa, Casino Royale, All Men Must Die, and Da Vinci Code. The old-fashioned big ones.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
Good films.
Yeah, so you got that one.
my autobiography.
Windows on the Universe. Nothing to do with Microsoft.
No. Don't say that. I don't want any infringement here.
No. But my Windows book would be entitled "How I'd Like to Beat the Crap Out of a Windows Software Engineer." But yeah, so what's Windows on the Universe about then?
That's about me.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why it's called an autobiography.
I didn't
Yeah.
catch the autobiography bit, sorry.
Yeah, the clue's in the title. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Marcus. Thank you for embarrassing.
So
Walk into that.
Yeah.
who would care about my autobiography?
Yeah, who would care about your autobiography?
Exactly. Who would care?
What was there an answer to that, or is your wife in the market for a book?
Actually, more my kids and grandchildren.
Yeah, that's exactly why my dad did it. Yeah.
That's a
So
history book, isn't it? To them?
Basically, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
let's get real. Who cares?
Yeah.
My wife's really into autobiographies. She loves them. I think just actually it's a great thing just to sort of look into somebody else's life and sort of find out what motivates people. I really enjoy sort of finding out about people that way, because I think an autobiography is, if it's written properly, it's warts and all. And I like the sort of, the honesty in those sort of things. But
I could never write an autobiography. I can't remember past last weekend.
It's something to do with hard cider, I think.
It's something to do with the fact I brew my own alcohol. So yes.
You better start taking notes then.
It's all right. The police are doing that.
I'll keep it a diary. So what book is next then? Because you have got some that you're in the middle of, or you are at the process of just starting, haven't you?
The next one I mentioned earlier is The Eye of Metis Enigma.
Yeah.
Right now it stands at 275 pages, 33,000 words.
Wow. And that's part of a Chronicles book as well. Chronicles, yeah.
But Gareth, a novel is 40,000 words, and I can never seem to get there.
Really? 40,000 words?
40,000 words, yeah.
Jeez. And then I've got on your notes that you did Gene Reiter? Gene Reiter.
That's that'll follow the Eye of Metis Enigma.
Oh, so that's part of the series as well.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Is that the final one of the series, or
no?
Has it just got? Is it like a Lee Child kind of Jack Reacher style? It could go forever.
Well, the story has a beginning and end.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into this because I just don't want to give my thoughts away, but getting from the beginning to the end has the potential for a lot of different stories.
Mm.
I'm only dealing in the core, get from the beginning to the end piece.
Yeah,
right.
But if somebody, and again, I'm selling the series. But if somebody's interested, this has huge potential.
Yeah, yeah. So you told us your favorite genre is sci-fi. Yeah. Now, in our questionnaire that we sent out to you, it says favorite. I don't know if you actually got because it's a British type of thing, but favorite desert island DVD. Yeah,
copyright pending.
Copyright pending. there's a program on the radio over here called Desert Island Disc, which is where they get famous people to say about a selection. It's a BBC product.
Choose music. That's music related. We're completely different.
So if you were on the Desert Island and you could only take one film with you, what would it be?
You're going to think I'm crazy. Have you ever seen Steven Spielberg's Duel? D-U-E-L?
Oh yes. Actor. Come on, who's the actor in that?
I'll have it for you in a second.
It's a brilliant film. I love that film. It's about a truck chasing a car through America. It seemed. I don't know quite where, but that's a brilliant film. That is. I love Somebody
or Another.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Not sure.
Is it?
Dennis Weaver.
Weaver. Thank you.
Weaver.
Weaver.
Jacqueline Scott.
Marcus.
Yeah.
I want you to write me a story. I want you to write me a story about a car and a truck going down the road. And I want you to make it interesting. And I want it to be between an hour and a half and 2 hours long. Well, yeah. You'd say, are you nuts? That is boring.
I'd actually say, no, Steven Spielberg did it. Honestly, that is such a good film. It's one of those films that sort of started me off with Steven Spielberg. It was one of his first, wasn't it? That's a really old film.
Yeah.
But what a great film. Have you seen that one, Gareth?
No, I'm just looking at it.
I like the telephone box was my favorite scene in that.
Well, the thing that intrigues me, and the reason it would be my island film, is how he was able to make that interesting for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm going like, if somebody just told me what this movie was about, it would probably be the last movie in the world I'd ever want to see.
Yeah.
And you watch it and you go, holy cow, how did he do that?
You feel as though you were there with him though the whole journey. He takes you with him all the whole way, doesn't it? And you feel the fear. It's such a good film, really well made.
Yeah.
And like you say, simple concept, but it's tiring to watch it, isn't it? It's one of those like I watched the film 1917 a few months ago. And it's a single shot film in the First World War where a guy runs from one side of the trenches to the other to sort of warn his brother. And it's a single shot apart from about 2 minutes in the middle where he blacks out. and I felt I'd been on the run with him. And it reminded me very much of that film Duel, where you kind of feel as though you're in that car with him the whole time, don't you? It's tiring.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating. I'll have to put that on my list of films to watch.
It's more homework for you, LJ.
Yeah,
What, 1972?
No, Duel.
Steven
Nah.
Spielberg. So, and all the stuff we've talked about. Okay, you've only been doing the filmmaking for 17 years. So, as Marcus said, you're 17 in film years. But so the question: what advice would you give your 18-year-old self in relation to your career? You were pre-filmmaking, but in real life, your own self, would you have gone into the film industry when you were a young man? Or would you have stuck to the path you had?
Well, I wouldn't have done it if I went back to 18 at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, getting back to the cost of production and all that, you couldn't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Would I do it today? Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
And I have your question here in conjunction with that question, because I get a lot of young guys and gals asking me about filmmaking and what advice I can give them and that sort of thing. And I tell them at least two things. One is, if you're not married, don't get married.
Yeah, it's a selfish industry, isn't it?
Well, here's the problem. You're not going to make money as a beginning filmmaker unless you're connected. If you're not connected, you're not going to make money in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you're going to head down this road. You're going to get married. Here comes the mortgage statement. Here comes the grocery bill. Here, and Gareth and Marcus, I've seen this. I've seen guys that really, and they did good work. I've seen them. They got married, and the next thing you know, they're not making films anymore because their priorities are different. They have other things to do. So I tell these guys, if you can, the best thing to do is wait until you get your feet on the ground before you get married. Otherwise, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Get a camper van. Yeah.
The other thing I tell them is you got to be patient as hell, because unless you're really, really, really lucky, your first film is not going to be a money-making success.
No.
So you're going to have to make a film and make no money, and make a film and make no money, and make a film. Now, that sounds kind of bad, but every film you make, the next one's better.
Yeah.
Better. You might make a step back somewhere, but nonetheless, the trend is they'll get better. So you got to be patient. Don't think you're going to run out there with a camera, make an award-winning film, and you're set, because very, very low probability of that happening.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a low probability. So yeah, it's good advice. I've seen it myself on set of other productions, and basically I've seen crew who just want the project to be over so they could go home because they've got a newborn baby. And it's like, are you going to the end? Are you going to the wrap party? No, I'm going home. I don't care. I just want to go home. And it is quite a selfish industry from both an acting point of view, and you could be 3 months in another country doing a production. Where you don't get to go home on the weekends and all the rest of it, And right, so we always ask our guests these questions. They're our favorites, because I'm the type. I've walked out of a few films, but have you ever either fallen asleep in front of? Now, this isn't in the living room in your house, because we've all done that. But in the cinema, have you ever fallen asleep while watching a film, or walked out of the theater?
Neither.
Oh.
No, but here, wait a minute.
Yeah, right, go on.
Listen, here, I've seen a lot of bad films, a lot.
Right.
And you want to know something? I learn more from bad films than I learn from good films.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
No, seriously.
Yeah,
So,
it is a good point.
I mean, so people will say, "Oh, how could you watch that?" I says, "How could you not watch that?
Yeah.
You're seeing what not to do. Don't you want to know what not to do?
Yeah.
That's important."
That's a good way of looking at it.
No,
I just fall asleep.
I've seen a lot of bad films, and I try to go, why don't I like this? What's wrong with it? And figure that out so that I don't do that.
Yeah. It's interesting because we have the opposite sort of way of watching films, because we watch a film and say, why did I like that? Because I tend to go, I don't tend to watch a film critically the first time round. I watch a film to see if it grabs me as a viewer. And so we will watch these 300 and odd films that we get every year. And my instinct is to like something or not like something. But when I like something, I then look at it again and go, why did I like that film? What was it about that film I liked? But you're right. I probably learned a lot surreptitiously by watching bad films and realizing what can go wrong that hasn't gone wrong in other films. It's like, if the music is right, you don't notice it, but it adds a lot to the film. If the music is wrong, it detracts from the film. And so you can sort of easily pick up on the wrong music, but it's difficult to pick up on the right music. It's a good way of learning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Can I advertise for a second here?
Of course you can. Yeah, plug away.
What you're here for.
All my music is done by Matt Milne from England.
Okay.
And Marcus, you're absolutely right. You can take a film without music and it goes like, this is kind of flat.
Yeah.
You put the right music to it, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Matt Milne, and I'm passing Matt's name out there because I always said to him, he should be like one of the top composers in the industry. He's so good. But he hasn't found his road yet. Neither have I.
Well, maybe we should get Matt onto RATMA TV to have a chat about music scores for films and stuff.
I would love to do that. Yeah.
Maybe he should do an introduction to us.
I'll bet he'd love to do that.
Yeah, Matt, you are quite welcome.
Well, send his details to us, and we'll be in touch with him. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Do an introduction email.
I will.
Email both of us, and then basically we can pick it up from there. But you're right, music scores are so important. I mean, Spielberg said that actually the music was the shark. It wasn't the whole thing. The whole thing that set the tone of that film was literally, and it's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you look at the way they use music in that. I mean, obviously it's John Williams, and we for both. He's just phenomenal. But you look at the Star Wars theme, for example, when Darth Vader comes in, it's dun 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 dun, and it's dark, it's deep, it's moody, it's all that. And then basically they get in the medals, and it's da 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 da. It's the same music on different keys.
Are you going to write the music for my next movie?
Do I want to?
You really don't. Yeah.
There's a thing here, James, in the UK where they say that Welsh people can sing. Welsh people are natural singers and the rest of it. As a Welshman, I dispel the myth that all Welshmen can sing and can carry a tune. Trust me. Okay. So
you almost just proved that. It was.
Ironically, my sister is incredibly musical, and her daughter and her son are both really musical. So yeah, I completely lost that with that scene. Totally. But yeah. But thank you.
He can pick out a bum note though. That's good.
I think Matt. I can't speak for Matt, obviously, but I think he'd be more than happy to have a session with you guys.
Yeah.
And he's done some good projects, which I can't tell you about, but he could. But he's just like me, trying to find somebody that recognizes his ability.
Yeah. Well, it'd be good for him to get in touch because of our plans for the networking and stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
Going forward. And talking about the show, it's time to wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's been a great hour, fantastic hour. Thank you very much.
Has it been an hour already? Crikey.
It really has, yeah. We have a competition running, James, if you would like to take part as well, on our website, which is ratmafilmfestival.com. We've been going now, this is our 10th year, and we've never named the rat. So we've got a competition running on the website where you can name the rat.
I already gave you the name.
Have you done that? Have you entered
Yeah,
it?
you've done that already, yeah.
Have you entered that? Oh, brilliant. Right, good. Well, anybody else out there who's watching, if you would like to enter the competition to name the rat, then jump on and do so. And we'll be announcing the winner on the awards night on the 8th of October. And we will announce the name of the rat then.
And you can enter as many times as you like, James. Don't limit yourself to one gem.
Okay.
You can
I thought it was a winner, so I didn't think I had to do more than that.
well, that's the same for films as well, James. If you wanted to enter more than one film, you're quite welcome to enter more than one film. We do have people who enter multiple films every year because they're prolific filmmakers throughout the year, and then basically we get all of their films as soon as the festival's over. So yes. So Haggett, you know I'm talking about you. And,
no names, no
loads
backdrop.
of great films. It's like, oh, look at them all coming in.
Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank all three of you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
No worries.
I just, yeah. I just want to say one thing before I go.
Go for it.
Money, producer. That's what I need.
That's what you need. Yeah. I think you made that quite clear all the way through, really.
Well, I'm just, this is the executive summary.
Good. Yeah, you subtly hinted towards that, but now we're just saying, look, right, okay, read his books.
Well, this is very much what RATMA World is all about, isn't it? Where you can come and network and get those producers and those actors and musicians and whoever you need. So it's good.
I'd like you guys to stay in touch with me. Unrelated, just stay in touch.
Yeah, totally. We're going to be putting people onto our newsletter anyway, so we're going to be starting up a bit.
When I get lost in America, I'll ask you for directions.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're lost in the Nevada desert, you can ask for directions to Colorado.
Which direction do I go in? That's all I need. That's all.
You can ask for directions to Connecticut. Oh yes, it's about 3,500 miles that way, sir.
Wow, that long.
I have a project you can help me with. I'm trying to get a stone from every single state in the United States.
All right.
Okay.
So if you go to Nevada, get me a stone. It's got to be 1 inch so it fits in the box.
I was going to say, you better be more specific. I hear there's a lot of stones there. Right, 1 inch, that's fine.
1 inch.
Last thing you need is a boulder turning up at the door.
You sound like a man after my own heart. I love stones. I've got whole piles of stones in my garden. I keep digging them up and keeping them. I just can't throw them away. But I when I go to the beach, my wife sunbathes, I stack pebbles. That's
I collect pebbles. I actually have on my desk here. I will try my best to try and show you, to see if I can actually show you this. But on my desk, I have a collection of pebbles and lots of dust, obviously, and the Millennium Falcon flying through the asteroid.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my asteroid field and my Millennium Falcon.
Wow. What's the chances of that?
Can you see the flashing light in the back?
Yeah.
Saucer.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. Okay. Come on. We need to wrap up. So thank you very much, James, for coming along. It's been absolutely fantastic to have a chat with you and find out all about your films and how you got into it all. And thank you for being a great guest.
Great guest.
And for tuning in. Good luck with shoveling the snow, which I think is next.
Yeah.
But yes, so what we'll do is we will say thank you very much and love you and leave you. And then we'll speak to you later and look forward to seeing your film for the festival.
Yeah, I'm going to send you the link or the Dropbox link.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.